Phantom Menace opens at midnight.
Place in the Star Wars line.
We started lining up over a month ago.
All right, get out your lightsabers.
You just may have noticed that Star Wars, the latest episode, opens nationally at midnight tonight.
The hype surrounding this movie has been overwhelming. Now the question is, will it deliver?
They're about to open the doors here in just a few minutes, and people are revved
Some
up.
2.2 million.
Star Wars. It's the franchise that redefined sci-fi, built a global fandom, and became a cultural juggernaut. But today, it's a galactic battleground of divided fans, with Disney caught in the crossfire. So how do we get here? From the revolutionary original trilogy to the divisive sequels, today we're breaking down how Disney's choices alienated lifelong fans and left the franchise struggling to keep its audience. Buckle up, this is a wild ride through a galaxy far, far away.
The people in this crowd will soon be among almost 40,000 who have seen a new science fiction movie at North Park Cinema 2. The movie is called Star Wars.
George Lucas blended classic mythology with cutting-edge visuals, creating a sci-fi epic that felt timeless. It wasn't just a movie, it was a phenomenon. The original trilogy gave us Luke Skywalker, farm boy turned Jedi, Leia Organa, the fierce princess, and Han Solo, the roguish smuggler. These characters became cultural icons. Loved for their depth and relatability, the fandom exploded. Kids played with action figures, adults debated Darth Vader's redemption, and conventions packed halls with lightsaber-wielding fans. By 1983, Star Wars wasn't just a trilogy, it was a movement reuniting millions in a shared love for its heroes and that galaxy far, far away.
Why are you waiting in such a long line to see a movie?
Well, we've just been looking forward to seeing it. We've waited about a week. We were hoping the lines would kind of diminish, but we just kind of wanted to see it tonight. We're pretty enthusiastic about space program and things along that nature.
The original trilogy's success wasn't just about the films. It sparked a fandom that lived beyond the screen. Books, comics, and games started fleshing out the universe, planting the seeds for what would become the expanded universe. Fans weren't just watching Star Wars, they were living it, creating a passionate community that kept the saga alive during the quiet years after Return of the Jedi.
So you're ready to check a third look at the Star Wars video. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Are you guys ready? Yeah! Very well. Let's take another look. The London Symphony Orchestra, conducted by John Williams. This is Duel of the Fates.
The following is your first shocking glimpse into the latest top-secret project from one of the world's most notorious stars.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
Fast forward to 1999, and George Lucas's marketing machine went into overdrive for The Phantom Menace. If, like me, you were born around this time, then you will remember how inescapable all three of these films were. The hype was unreal. Fans waited days for tickets, and the internet buzzed with anticipation. One of my earliest memories is waking up and walking to the theatre for Revenge of the Sith on a warm evening with a low sun. The prequels, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith promised to show Anakin Skywalker's rise and fall. Despite mixed reviews, with critics bashing Jar Jar Binks and stiff dialogue, these films found a devoted audience. A new generation fell in love with Ewan's Obi, Natalie's Padmé, and Hayden's Anakin, and the epic lightsaber duels that ensued. The prequels weren't perfect, but they became beloved, especially for the kids who grew up with them. But the prequels were just the start. The expanded universe took Star Wars to another level. Timothy Zahn's Thrawn Trilogy in the early 90s reignited fandom with stories of Luke, Han, and Leia post-Jedi adventures, introducing fan favourites like Grand Admiral Thrawn and Mara Jade. Books, comics, and games like Knights of the Old Republic built a rich universe spanning thousands of years. This EU created a new wave of die-hard fans who devoured every detail: Jedi histories, Sith origins, and even Han and Leia's kids, Jason, Jaina, and Anakin Solo. Despite the prequels' backlash, the EU gave fans a reason to stay obsessed, keeping the Star Wars trilogy alive during the gap before Disney's acquisition.
This fierce machine which you have built, upon which we stand, will bring an end to the Senate, to their cherished fleet. All remaining systems will bow to the First Order, and will remember this as the last day of the Republic!
2012, Disney bought Lucasfilm for $4 billion, and fans were thrilled for a new Star Wars committed to Lucas's vision. But in 2014, they dropped a bombshell. The expanded universe was no longer canon. Rebranded as Legends, characters like Mara Jade and the Solo Kids, gone. Stories like the Thrawn Trilogy, non-canon. Disney wanted a clean slate for their sequel trilogy, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. These films introduced Rey, Finn, and Kylo Ren, but they also, crucially, undid the OT's legacy. Luke became a disillusioned hermit, Han and Leia's marriage fell apart, and their son turned evil. For many fans, this felt like a betrayal of the heroes they loved and the EU they'd invested in for decades. The sequel split the fandom. The lack of cohesion in storytelling and admitted purposeful division from Rian Johnson just felt like a stab in the back for decades of loyalty. We felt Disney disrespected the OT by sidelining Luke and ignoring the EU's richer post-Jedi stories. The decision to decanonize the EU was especially painful. Fans who'd spent years with Legends characters like Thrawn or Jayla Solo felt erased, and Disney borrowed EU elements like Kylo Ren mirroring Jason's fall. But they changed them enough to alienate the purists. The sequels, they made billions of dollars, but online wars raged with hashtags like NotMyStarWars21X. And for anyone who wants to admit that they do make sense and there is canon, I'm sorry, but they just undo the entire purpose of film 1 to 6. You see, the original trilogy was brilliant because it gave us this halfway story of a tragedy, but the prequels, they showed us that rise and fall. They showed us the human and relatable nature to Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader, and then they showed the prophecy being fulfilled, his significance to everyone. And then comes along episode 7, it's all gone. It's so stupid. It doesn't make sense. How is Palpatine still alive? He just fucking floated across the galaxy to a place where he could build a massive fleet of ships, right? But no one else could get there. Right, so how are you going to build ships then, mate? Do you know what I mean? Makes no sense.
Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?
I will do what I must.
Since the sequels, Disney Star Wars has been stuck in a cycle of trying to please both sides of the divide at the expense of the other. The Mandalorian brought back hope with Grogu and Luke's epic return, appealing to original trilogy and EU lovers, but shows like the Book of Boba Fett and The Acolyte caught flack for rewriting EU lore or pushing progressive themes that some fans felt didn't fit Star Wars. Meanwhile, projects like Ahsoka reintroduced EU characters like Thrawn, but their altered stories frustrated Legend purists. This tug of war fuels endless online debates on X, Reddit, especially on YouTube, keeping fandom fractured. The result? Disney's declining viewership and box office flops. Disney struggled to unify the fan base with the tanking IP and most recent reports showing that they're losing subscribers. Disney's caught in a trap. They've alienated a fan base who for up to 50 years stayed committed to the vision of George Lucas. They now perpetually flip between a new, smaller fan group that they have today and trying to please the older fans. The result is just a mash of terrible content that is unwatchable and unappealing. So what can they do? It's simple. Recanonize Legends and decanonize the sequel era. See, shows like Andor, they stand above and are fantastic and they should stay canon. But Disney is too proud, of course. If they accepted their mistakes and went at it again, we all know Star Wars fans would give them a clean slate because after all we want is a good Star Wars movie. Now listen, if you're a fan of the sequel era, I'm not trying to talk down on you. Although I can't see how you enjoy that slot, I'm not trying to stop you from doing it either. My point in making this video is that there is a growing audience of us who are clamouring for a tragic and action-packed Star Wars film that doesn't feel like forced politics. I've got a load of Star Wars ideas for what they could do in the future, and if you want to hear my thoughts on that, then drop a comment below and subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks for watching to the end, and if you've made it this far, why not drop a like to help me reach more people. Take care my friends, and I'll see you again soon.